Hello, I'm Natalie Macdonald, and you're watching Food for Thought, where we serve up food for your brain, discussing economic trends, workforce issues, and headline news. My question of today is, how do you deal with rejection? Now, rejection or disappointments, as I like to call it, are something that we all experience. You may get turned down from a job application. You may make a mistake on a project. Your boss may criticize you on a piece of work that you've completed, or an idea may get turned down at a meeting. But it's important how we move on from that, how we bounce back and move on to the next challenge or adventure. So how do we do that? Well, I sat down with business coach Daniel Tolson, who told me that while 99% of us have a simultaneous fear of criticism or rejection, rejection is just a normal part of life.
I was working with a real estate agent, and he was in his mid-40s. And what happened was he would think about rejection. He'd think about getting a no, and he'd start to procrastinate, because he felt that somebody was going to reject him before he even did the job. So he'd stay in the office and he wouldn't make calls. And then because he didn't make calls, he didn't make sales. So then he started to lose his financial security. When I walk down the street and a cafe is selling coffee, and I've just had a coffee at the cafe before, I walk past it and I don't buy it. It doesn't mean I don't like the people, I just don't need it. You know, people don't go shutting their shops because they go, oh, Daniel just walked past and didn't buy a coffee. They accept that this is life. Not everybody is going to buy their product or service. And everybody in business has to be okay with that.
But while rejection may be normal, it still doesn't feel very nice. I asked Daniel to put together some practical tips for how we can overcome that fear of criticism or rejection.
Well, your 3-step action plan starts with self-awareness. You have to know the thought that is holding you back. So imagine going to a doctor and the doctor says, what's wrong? You say, I don't know. And he says, well, if you don't tell me, I can't help you. So first step is identify the thought. The second thing you've got to do is you've got to learn to regulate the emotion. And this is the ability to quickly change the thought pattern. And if you catch the thought, you can change the feeling. But the third thing is you've got to have the motivation. You have to want to change. Nobody can do this for you. So the first thing is you've got to understand what the negative thought pattern it is. Secondly, you've got to manage the feeling. And thirdly, you've got to have the motivation and the desire to change.
And it's that simple. I'm cured of worrying about ever making a mistake or being criticised ever again. Well, sadly, it's not quite that easy.
You'll never get over the fear of rejection and criticism fully. And the reason is that we're trying so many new things. And we're always venturing into new territory where we have to do something that we haven't done before.
And maybe that's okay. Maybe it is that fear that fuels us when it comes to that next project or job interview or meeting, or helps us to bounce back from a career disappointment. But I want to hand it over to you. When was the last time you were rejected? When did you last feel that you could have done a better job? Are you the type of person that broods over disappointments, or do you use that as motivation when it comes to your next adventure or challenge? Share your experiences in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you get all the very latest Food for Thought content straight to your feed.